Or if you know certain people are going to leave the meeting who might be against, and you put it at the time when they're not there at all. But the point being is that you have to be able to work strategically, such that, now it could be that there is somebody in that committee who hates your guts. He really hates you. He looks at you and says, look, anything this guy does, you know what, I have no part. I will not have any part in it. So what do? You look at all of the other people in the committee and you say, you look at him. You know, he is the elder in that committee. If I can convince him, I will ask him to make the case. I might remain silent in the discussion. I'll remain silent. I'll ask him to make the case. Let him help me. And then you will get it passed. So it's not always about you. It's about being able to work strategically. And this is how it's done in government as well. Okay? So listen to yourself and to others. That's about being proactive. Okay? Don't be negative. Try to see the positives in every particular situation. In every situation, they are positive. There's, you know, you organize something and you're hoping that the whole community will come out. And when the event comes out, you only see 2 people show up there. And the first thing they ask is, when is the food going to be served? Isn't it? When is the food going to be served? This is the nature of things. But you look at the positive in it. The positive thing is that 2 people showed out. Maybe there are 2 people that you can work with. You were alone before, now you are 3. You're no longer 2, no longer by yourself. So don't be negative. Try to see the positive in that situation. Don't blame outside forces for events. One of the things about Muslims is that they always have these theories about why things happen. You know, some evil force is against us. You know, there's always somebody is doing something in some part of the world, and they're focusing all of their energies on us, and they're ready to strike on us. Okay? They don't treat us as equals. We are not equals to everyone else. It could be because the way we look or what we believe. They don't like the M word, whatever it is. Okay? So don't blame outside forces for events. Examine your circle of influence and the circle of concern, and try being proactive for 30 days. In other words, being proactive is like developing a new habit. It is developing a new habit. If you can do something consistently for 30 days, then you will find it will be something that you will always do. You're always looking to thinking ahead of time. So you're not just thinking about, well, look, I've done this and I'm thinking about what, you know, I'm too busy to think about anything else or what is to come after. Even before this thing happens, you're thinking, what am I going to do next? Where is this going to lead us to? You know, what is the next step in this program that we're planning? It's all there. It's about thinking ahead. And many times what you may well find is that people, even when conferences are being planned and resolutions are to be made, you may well find that the resolutions are made even before the meeting has started. Do you know that? Donald Trump met Rocket Man. Is it Little Rocket Man? Okay. He met Little Rocket Man recently. But before meeting with Little Rocket Man, whatever decision was going to come out from that meeting, they would have already decided. And they would, it's almost as if it's, you know, it's a picture for the media and for the public and so on. This is what we're doing. It may be nothing has been decided, nothing will be agreed upon, that they will do exactly the same. But each side is looking at, you know, how can we jostle so that the public we can save face with our own people. So habit number 2 talks about is begin with the end in mind. You see, very often when we do things, we do not have a vision of what it is that we want to see. One of the very first things I did when we started this particular program is I asked you a question. And that question is, what would you consider to be the ideal Muslim youth who would be able to fulfill, you know, he would be able to live life in a contemporary society and fulfill all his God-given responsibilities, isn't it? That was a question. The reason why I asked you that question is this. It's because I want you to be able to visualize what it is that you should become. You are what you are now. But what should you become? How do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Somebody who will do exactly what you would want. So you need to have a realistic model in front of you and say, this is the model that I am working towards. I'm in my field. Let's say you're studying engineering, or you're studying medicine, or you're studying whatever it is, or what it is that you want. So you want to be, let's say you want to finish your degree. You want to become somebody who is skilled in your degrees. You don't want to become just like any other, but you want to become somebody who is the best in your field. Do as much as you can. Okay, how can I use my talent now to be able to serve my community? Okay, I'm doing engineering and we talk about technical things, but I'm not getting from my degree some of the skills that I would need to be able to act in let's say becoming a social activist. So what are some of those skills that I need? I need XYZ skills. So therefore, these are the things I need to work on so that I can become who I want to be. Then you ask yourself, well, what is my understanding and foundation in my deen? Well, I know a bit of Quran, but that's something I really need to work on. I need to build upon that. So can I put into place a program? Can I work with someone? Can I enroll in some courses? Can I do something online that can get me so that when I think about the ideal that I want to be, not somebody else, that I want to be, I can achieve that. And then you continue like that. We learn these fascinating things about ulumul Quran, ulumul hadith, trying to be able to have that sense of openness about ourselves, being broad-minded, being people who are confident. So people ask us questions, we can be confident in what we are saying. Well, I'm not really confident right now, and I know that my knowledge is very limited. So what do I need to do? I need to know all of these things. Where do I need to learning from? Can I identify the places, the sources, and so on? Then you start working your way towards what you want. So Brother Hassan mentioned Arabic is so important to be able to understand the Quran and to be able to understand your deen. Well, I want to become somebody who is proficient in Arabic, let's say in 5 years' time. How do I do that? I can do that by doing X, Y, Z. I take all of the baby steps. I can't read Quran now, but I need to start learning that. I will enroll in a course over 7 days, or I will do this, or I will do that. There are no courses in there, but I know of someone who knows how to read. Therefore, I will dedicate a few hours of my time to get it done. Can you see? So you're moving from where you are to where it is that you want to be. So he talks about begin with the end in mind. You need to know the outcome. Whatever it is that you do. Yes?
This point here as well, it actually, once you actually understand your vision, it helps you cope with whatever challenges that comes up as well.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter the challenge. What matters is that your goal is all that matters. It comes like these, like your iman, like all you strive for is paradise. So it doesn't matter the affairs you do.
Yeah, exactly. And if you think about it, this is the Quranic model. Why do you think the Quran talks so much about paradise? And the Quran the Quran doesn't just say paradise. That's it. But the Quran is trying, on all of these different quotes, the Quran is trying to paint for you a model, a picture. Where your home is now and where your home will be in the future. And what you need to be able to, how do you get to that there? So it becomes something like something that motivates you to get there. So begin with end in mind. So there's something called alternative centers, which are like spouse-centered, family-centered, money-centered, possession-centered, pleasure-centered. Okay? All of these are different centers that people do. And these particular centers, the way that people see themselves. It could be that somebody is money-centered. So what they will do is that they will sacrifice everything at the cost of money. That's it. Okay? If it is that they have to sacrifice, sell their family, they will do so because they want it for money. And we've seen it. People who want to be, let's say, to be successful in their careers. They want to acquire wealth. And then the boss tells them, you know what, you need to work 18 hours a day. You need to consider us to be priority number one. It doesn't matter what is happening in anywhere else, you need to be here. And they will do it. They will sell their souls to be able to achieve those things. So all of these are centers that people use, or it could be that of pleasure. What Stephen Covey is telling us that we should be principle-centered. It's a principle that we're working for. So if the principle is right, then we were working along that principle. Which means that if the principle, let's say, is that of justice, and that's one of our core Quranic values, al-adl, which is justice, then that's a principle that we will work with, even though it might be against ourselves, or it might be against our family, or it might be against our friends. It's a principle that we work with, okay? So principle-centered. So write a personal message. Well, this is an assignment, but I'm not going to give you to the other assignment now, but this is something that this here about personal mission statement is something that each one of you should be doing, okay? Now, habit number 3, he says that put first things first. Put first things first is another way of prioritizing. Prioritize things in your life. Now, you would know that we all know about prayer. And how do we prioritize in our prayer? Anyone going to give me an example of how we prioritize in our prayer? Within the prayer itself, just think about prayer. How do we prioritize our prayer? Anybody? In the prayer itself, how do we prioritize prayer?
One of the things that you do.
What types of prayers are there?
You have a fard and you have a
Sunnah, and then you have